Tracey from the Disney Indiana podcast.
Hello, everyone.
So right now I am working on the entrance to each of the areas. And I don't know why I'm doing this here. I'm just trying to get it aligned. And so we should have thought about this first. So how about you tell them a little bit about yourself?
Well, I was just going to comment that this is a Star Wars themed Planet Coaster setup. And one thing I find interesting is, now all these pieces and parts came with the software, or did you have to download a DLC?
Well, I have downloaded a DLC. They have recently come out with free DLCs that you can purchase for, and it's a reasonable price. I think it's like $2.50. They have I think it's a ghost themed one, and then they have a Knight Rider themed one, and then a Back to the Future themed one, and I have bought that one. And I think in the next episode I use that.
Okay, so as you can see kind of in the background, it looks like you've made a hub area, much like the Disney parks, and there's an X-Wing there. So now we're working on entrances. Now, have you planned out what each of these areas is going to represent, Corbin?
I have came up with some ideas, and I did that in Photoshop. In next episode, we are going to work on the forest moon of Endor, not to be confused with Endor. They are two completely different things, not to be confused.
And you know, I don't think we ever saw Endor itself.
Yeah, I don't
films,
even know
we?
what Endor looks like.
We just saw the forest moon.
Yep. Which is, I would assume, would be cooler because they wouldn't feature just Endor in the movie, so I don't know. Or maybe they ran out of ideas. They seem to keep adding planets.
Mm-hmm.
So probably, I hope this will be done by the time The Last Jedi comes out. I want to try to look at the trailers and try to add some things from that. So if it's almost done by then, I might not add too much from The Last Jedi, but I will try to fit in some sort of things from that movie.
Okay, so here in the video, you've gone ahead and established kind of a tunnel entrance to one of the areas, and then you've built two little rooms off to either side of the walkway. What are you planning on doing with those? I'm
going to try to make it seem like that you are like sort of like transporting in between each world. So I'm trying to make it so it'll fit for each entrance, so I don't have to make a new one for each one. So it is kind of a universal fit for each themed area.
Okay. So once you build kind of this tunnel in this room, is that something that you can then kind of combine as one element that, like you said, you can do a copy and paste over into the other areas?
Yes, so I can build everything and then I can save it as a blueprint. That's what they call it in this game, and it's kind of like copying and pasting.
Very cool. So you're building what looks like a little vehicle mock-up on top of the entrance.
Yes. I'm trying to make it look somewhat like I've taken inspiration from, I just looked up a bunch of pictures of Star Wars spaceships, and I kind of came up with this idea. I was kind of thinking about it while I was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And, okay.
So what else can you tell me about, how long have you been playing with Planet Coaster?
I think on the Steam it tells you, and it says for 300 hours, but I think just when you leave it open overnight, it thinks you're playing. I don't think I've played that one, but I have played for quite a while.
And how many other worlds have you created, or theme parks?
Good worlds or just worlds?
Well, everybody's got to start somewhere. So you had your practice worlds, and then this is probably one of your more ambitious projects?
Well, yes. So do they include auto-saved theme parks?
Well, what's the difference between what you're doing here and an auto-saved theme park?
Well, sometimes I create a park, don't like it, don't save it, and exit out of the game. Because if I have too many things in the saved area, then that kind of makes it hard to find the ones that I actually like.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, like, if you don't save before you exit, then all of your progress will be lost. But apparently the game is lying when it says that.
Oh, because you found bits and pieces of parts that you worked on, and you know that you didn't save, but they're still kind of
Yeah,
sort of there.
so like in each time it sort of saves as its own thing instead of doing the last one you did for saving it. So it kind of creates a bunch of ones you don't know what's in that park.
Until you go in and explore.
Yep, and it takes like 5 minutes to load some of the parks, so it's almost a waste of time.
Now, I see that you're adding humanoid figures in. Now, are those supposed to be actual people, or are those more like Disney's audio animatronics?
Yes, they're like the Disney audio animatronics.
And how much control do you have over them?
Not very much. They basically, they have like different ones you can do, and you can like change like 1 or 2 colors of their outfit. And then they just do whatever, like, one of them is like guarding, so then they would just like stand there and do a little animation.
Right, we saw that as an example, and it looked like another one of them was doing some tinkering. So you just saved this as a blueprint, so everything that you've just built, you can now copy and paste somewhere else, right?
Yep, and now I'm working on a decorative fence, which is a fun thing to do, I would guess, but it's kind of hard because they do have a lot of pieces, but they don't have that many. They're kind of like designed to work together. Like that one is designed for like a watchtower. And the challenging part about building a theme park is using the pieces that are designed to fit with each other and coming up with ways to do it without...
Oh, like you turned that one sideways.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
To or not.
Yeah, like that one's designed to be a barrel, and I'm using it for part of a fence.
Oh, I like that.
Yep. So that one, I just pretty much type. It makes you type in things, so I always just press a bunch of random keys for the description.
You can give.
And I'm using the blueprints right now. You can see I have a Death Star and that one was called Joe's Fishing Camp. It's a roller coaster I made.
Oh, fun.
I didn't record it though, and I think I put a sea monster in it. That is one of the animatronics. So, do you know much about the roller coaster tycoon games?
I think Scott and I played a similar game a long time ago, like before you were born, long time ago.
Okay. So, do you know remember if it was even in the game, there is like a sea monster. See right there? Those 2 parts go together, but the thing I put on top is a completely different part. And sometimes I don't realize that these parts should go together, so I'm like, well, that's kind of stupid. They didn't put in parts that work together. Then like later I'm like, oh, there's that part that I should have put there. Well, I guess that kind of looks cool. I'll use that part later. So the more you play, you kind of learn more of the parts that you can use. So then that improves how your things look.
Well, sure. Now with that radar scanner, was that came automatically animated, correct?
Yes, but you can... So if you're building a roller coaster, it's designed for this with parts that like spin or just the animatronics. Like they have some doors that close and open.
Oh,
you can
like
set
this cannon here.
Yeah, it's an orbital cannon. When I was just placing it around earlier, I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then I didn't realize how big it was until I placed it down next to something else.
Now, can you scale things like that, or are you stuck at pretty much the size a given element
You're
is?
pretty much just stuck at the certain size that it's supposed to be at. But I'm sure if there's mods in the future, someone will come up with that. But so far, Planet Coaster is still pretty young, and they haven't seemed to allow mods yet to be made, and I'm not sure if they will.
Now, I noticed that you can kind of overlap pieces.
Yes.
Unlike you'd be able to do in real life. So you can, I've seen you stick pieces like halfway down in the ground or like you just did there with the side pieces where you overlap them.
Yes. So what I'm building now, this section, the I guess the like central hub of the area is supposed to be and the forest moon of Endor themed. And we have played Battlefront before, and this is like, you know, the thing where you were playing as Boba Fett and then we flew on top of it.
Yes, one of the spaceships.
Yeah, and it's like, I think it's called a Rebel transport ship.
Yeah, that looks like a transport ship. You could fit lots of people there in the middle.
And then I put like terrain around it, and I'm trying to make like my own arch going over it. And right now I'm looking for a part. It's like a trash bin, but I don't think I think it was in a dream that I played with that part, because I tried to find it, but I couldn't, so then I just settle on this here for the cargo that's hanging underneath it.
So you say you've been playing this game so much you dream about playing this game?
I don't know. I guess. I don't know if it was a dream or it wasn't, but it probably was.
Now I see you can make elements just kind of hover in the air. You don't have to have them be supported.
That's not very realistic, but
No.
I try to make it look like that. You can make a roller coaster just floating. And my favorite part about making roller coasters is you can test it. So you can have the track just end, and they update it so like the carts, they just like slide off and like they crash into the ground.
So I imagine you don't get a really good rating if that happens, right?
I don't think it will allow you to open a coaster unless it's been tested, and that doesn't happen. But you can do that and have it crash into a crowd while you're testing it. So it doesn't really have
For those of you who are a
rating
little
yet.
more bloodthirsty.
Yeah.
Although I do remember Scott and I playing the old version of Roller Coaster Tycoon, and that was one fun challenge, is to develop a roller coaster that made people fly out of the
This
vehicles.
game is designed by the same company. I think it's Frontier.
That sounds about
Something.
right. So I see now you're adding the forest elements of the forest moon of Endor.
Yeah, I really... Oh. Bye, everyone. The episode ended. Bye.